Sup, everybody? Welcome to the Catch Up After College podcast. We may be post graduation, but we're never post education. I'm Isaiah Brown, your host. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, we have my brother from the same mother. He is my younger brother, Mr. Shemaiah Brown, here with us today. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be here. Really happy to be here. Thanks, bro, for the introduction.
Yeah, you sound very happy to be here.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to be here. Just busy, 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 but still happy to be here.
Yeah, that's better, but okay, cool, cool. So, we want to talk about you being a personal trainer and all that. You want to tell us how you got into that a bit?
Yeah, so I guess just over time, people have been pretty much telling me that I should. There was, in one sense, there's people telling me that I should be a personal trainer, and then also in another sense, I've actually have a pretty far background of training like myself, as far as like just working out, picking up things here and there. My dad is our dad was in the military. So I did gymnastics when I was young. So I was just always in pretty good physical shape. And I kind of just wanted to take it to the next level because I have really good motivation to keep myself going. Like at the gym, like I'm self-motivated, like, so I don't need someone to come with me to work out. I have my own schedule, I have my own routine. I keep to it, and I try to stay on top of it. So I figured that motivation could be useful and helpful for other people. Plus, I kind of have a passion for it. So it was just people telling me or let me know that that's probably a good idea, and then also me just listening, and then also just with my background, they kind of like intertwined with each other. And here I am. Here I am.
Okay, cool. So, what excites you about doing that kind of stuff?
Um, just well, I guess the gains definitely is a big part of it. I know you've been working out yourself as well, so I know, yeah, so I know you've been, ever so increasing. So you when you get those gains, you just like you get I don't want to say addicted, but you get attached. You want to see more progress, you want to see yourself, you reach those goals, and you create more goals. So when you see something, a transformation in your body, then you definitely want to continue that transformation. You don't want to regress. You want to progress. So that's a big part of the gym, as well, as just I feel like just the health part of it, like cardiovascular system, good for just exercise overall is it's good for your body. um Circulating your blood. They say you should do cardio 150 minutes a week on average, and some type of a certain amount of minutes of intensity every week. I believe it's an hour, something like that. So it's just it's good for your body as well. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what's on your go-to gym playlist? Who are the top artists on there?
It's a good old question. It's a great question. Go to playlists. Well, so the type of music I listen to when I'm at the gym is rap. But it's actually Christians that are rappers. So we actually listen to a lot of the same music, you and I. So I guess the top three, mm, probably his name is No Big Deal.
How do you
Yeah, I'm
spell
sure
that?
you've.
I know
I
it's
think
difficult to spell. That's
I
why
think
I
it's
asked you.
Nobigil.
It's like DYL, I think.
DYL.
Yeah,
Yeah, no big deal.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's no big deal, you know? No, I'm just kidding.
Hmm. It is a
But
big deal
yeah,
to try to spell his name, but yeah.
it is a big deal. Yeah. And don't say you're listening to no big deal, because then you're telling someone it's no big deal. But
Hmm.
um there's so I would listen to him mostly, maybe some Lecrae recently because he came out with a new album. So recently I would listen to No Big Deal, Lecrae. and maybe Social Misfits. So that's on the top of the playlist right now.
Okay. You'll never go into anything R&B, anything slower, a little T Swift, maybe. She's not really
Yeah, maybe if I
R&B.
want to fall asleep
Yeah.
on the mat. So yeah, if I'm just laying down listening to R&B, I'll just be like, dozing off. Actually, I was doing that yesterday. I was dozing off on the mat. I was tired.
Mm,
But no R&B. No, sir. Yeah, it's a little too slow for my
mm.
pace.
Okay.
I
It's
don't
all
know who T
good.
Swift is, by the way.
Mm. Oh, Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Oh, Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah. She's not in my music categories.
Yeah, we'll just
She's not
keep
my
moving.
playlist.
Yeah, but yeah. All right. So, you went to how many colleges? You went to two, I think.
So I went to Santa Monica College. I didn't graduate from there because I moved out here and I have my daughter, your niece, little Catalea, shout outs. But I went there and then I ended up, like I said, I didn't graduate. And then I ended up I looked up uh, getting personal training certification, and I looked and I saw Body Design University, and I ended up taking their courses, and I went to their in-person um, session. It was like 100 hours in like 2 weeks, so they crammed a lot into me. Plus, in addition to all the stuff I learned online and videos and whatnot, and the tests, and then I had one final exam. So it was yeah. So that's where I graduated from, Body Design University.
Okay. You want to tell us about the experience flying out there because it was during COVID season and how that all went down?
Yeah, so it was September 9th or September 6th to 19th. I went out there. Um, it wasn't that bad, the COVID experience, because they're starting to open up it's in Atlanta. So it's not as hard hit as California, or some other states or New York. So it was lightening up, and actually there was places were pretty open. So that wasn't so bad overall. Definitely a lot less traffic. But yeah, I got Airbnb. I had to get a hotel first couple nights, and just it was like the people talking. There's some people in there with masks on, and that whole scenario situation. But we got just like, I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but we got just super comfortable. I mean, we were sitting at a desk 8 hours, so people just started not wearing them anymore. But it was cool. We're still socially distanced, so and it was a smaller class, so it was actually more individual. It was more, specific, more individualized, which was nice because that's how I learn best, when it's more like, individualized. So it was a great course, really good course. Yeah.
Cool. How was that like with all those buff people all around? Did you all bring your own protein shakes to class or how'd that look like?
So believe it or not, I was actually the biggest one there. But I've seen pictures where there's some huge people. But yeah, people had their little protein shakes. I mean, there's another guy, he was in the National Guard, he was in really good shape as well. And then also what we do, and I've heard this for a long time, it's best to eat 6 meals a day, and it's technically 3 snacks and then 3 small meals. So it's not, when people say, they're like, oh my gosh, 6 meals, how am I going to eat all this? It's not, it's just, hold on. It's like splitting your meal in half, and then you have your snacks were evenly portioned. But yeah, I'm getting off subject. But yeah, so it was people, yeah, they had the protein shakes, and every like 2.5 hours he got a new, someone came downstairs and said, here's your protein shake, and handed him a protein shake. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's this all going? And
Mm.
I didn't realize until I tried it that it actually works. And I'm I'm on meal number 4 today, I think. So I got to get 2 more meals in, hopefully.
Yeah. And speaking on protein shakes, I feel like it gets a bit over preached about having a ton of protein. Can you tell us the importance of eating carbs?
Yeah, so actually you want a balanced intake of food. So you want carbs, you want fat, and you want protein. Those three things. Sugar, well, I mean carbs, transfers into glucose, which is sugar. So you don't necessarily need sugar. The less sugar, the better, because once you eat carbs, I mean the whole like the ketosis things and like low carbs. Carbs are very important for your body because so like I'm trying to make it sound not complicated. So you have your basal metabolic rate, which means that's how much that's how many calories you burn every day without doing absolutely nothing. And then you add your activity levels. So once you add your activity levels, say like mine will be like I'm supposed to be consuming 2,500 calories a day. But the thing is, you're like I said, it's spaced out in 6 meals. So, but the way you want to eat them is you want to eat 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat, and your good fats, saturated fats. Uh, so, and when you eat it in that way, it because your basal metabolic rate means, like I said, that's how many calories you're supposed to eat per day. Most people don't eat that much, so that means they're actually performing at a lower level than what they should be at. Once they actually get to that level, that's the level they're supposed to be performing at. So, but in order to get that level, you need carbs, you need protein, and you need fats. You don't just need protein, you don't just need carbs, you don't just need fats. You need all three of them to perform at to be the best version of yourself, as people would say, as personal trainers would say.
Yeah. What's some good fats you can eat? Because I hear like some people say they want to get their body fat to like 1%, but how do you do that while eating good fats?
Um, if you're going to try to get to your body fat to one, well, if you're 1%, that's like you would have to be at the gym and probably like 3 hours a day. You're going to be you have to be super athletic. You have to work on every square inch of your body to make sure there's no fat. There's just complete muscle. And you may, you may want to have eat a little less carbs and fat and have more protein intake to get to that level. But I would say it's probably unhealthy because you're functioning at a level your body's not. It's going to be hard for it to keep up with it overall. Now that's what. So when we talk about bodybuilders, they do stuff like that. But guess what? They're doing stuff like upward rows and like you're doing the leg press. That stuff is not good for your hip alignment and or your shoulder. You're rotating your cuffs, your delts. So it's not actually necessarily good for you in the long run. That's why you see a lot of bodybuilders. I think I forget his name, but the strongest man on earth. He's got plenty of surgeries after he lifted all that stuff. So to get to 1% body fat, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're an athlete, unless you're actually that's your life. But if you're just like an average person, you have your job and it's not competing. If it's not competing, then you'd probably want to be if you're around under 20%, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Maybe around 15. But I mean under 20% is you want to stay under 20% is what I should say.
Yeah. Okay. And we want to get to know you a bit more. You want to tell us where you're from and what it was like growing up where you grew up?
Yeah. So I'm from Oceanside, California, born and raised, and then moved to Vista. I was born Tri-City Hospital. A lot of people know about that. So, represent Oceanside. Yeah, but yeah, I grew up in Vista. We grew up in Vista, and because we're only 2 years apart. So, grew up in Vista, and um, just went to Guahomie, high school, and just and then I went to Diego, was it Diego Valley Charter School in San Diego, graduated from there. But you said how was it like growing up? Was the question?
Yeah, and what made you want to change schools? I forgot. When you changed high schools, you just weren't feeling it at Guahomie.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I just was not really fond of going to school in general because I felt like I was I'm really free spirited, so and independent, so I felt like I was forced into that type of environment of having to go to school, which technically I was. So it's, pretty much every kid. So I just didn't like the fact that I had to go there for like, however many years of my life. But once I graduated high school, and that's kind of why I bounced from school to school to answer your question, is because I just wasn't found fond of school in general. So I just had a lot of problems. But then I ended up going to independent study school, and our godmother, Athena, was my teacher. So that actually worked out well because I only went in twice a week. But ultimately graduated, and I didn't think I'd be going to college. And then after I graduated, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to go to college because I can, I can like, especially in college, they're so flexible. Like you don't have to show up if you don't want to. Guess what? The teacher still gets paid. You still got to get your work done, and you can, like not pass the class. You hold yourself accountable, and that's what I like about going to college. Is you're the number one person to hold yourself accountable. So it's all up to you, which I like is that freedom. So so that's I bounced around a little bit before I went to college.
Yeah. And I think one of the most independent versions of college is online college. Have you ever tried that, or are you more of an in person type of learner?
I have to be in person. I'm definitely in person learning. Like the school I went to, Bio Design University, they can do online modules only, and then obviously you pay less and you don't have to go to Atlanta. I mean, it's nice if you live there, but I chose to do that course and take that route, and it was so beneficial because I probably learned 5 times more in person than I was learning online. And they taught me a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't learning online. It was just like, and you can ask questions, which I love asking. So, and it was a professor, and he was very knowledgeable. It's two guys that own the university, but he one's a professor, and he's really like science and into that, all that, and just body anatomy and exercise science. So it just got really far in depth with it, and yeah, so in person is definitely for me.
Yeah, with personal training, have you officially trained anyone yet? It doesn't have to be for money or anything, but unofficially as well. Um, how does that look like when you're training them one on one? What techniques do you usually go for?
Yeah, I have, but not like a full course setting. um it's actually pretty rewarding at the end of it because they're exhausted and they're like, oh, okay, that was great, oh my gosh, oh, I hit the spot, and you just see how exhausted they are, but it's like with a smile on the face. But so basically how the workouts work, I'm just gonna kind of run you through it. It's 25 minutes of resistance training, which can be resistance bands, weights, whatever, just some type of resistance, some type of weights. Of course, you can be flexible and work with people. Some people can't do resistance, or they can only do little resistance, like 2 pounds or 3 pounds. So it all depends where you are, but some type of resistance training, and depends on the day of the week. You do different training for those days. So you do the 25 minutes of resistance training, and then you do 5 minutes of abdominal muscles, so your core training, and then it is 25 minutes of cardio. It's actually, sorry, it's 20 minutes of cardio, and then that's at the end. So, but it's 5 minutes at the start, you warm up, and then 5 minutes to stretch, and then 25 minutes resistance training, 5 minutes abs, and then 20 minutes cardio. And it's actually, you're performing a HIIT training, high interval training. And so it's constant. You're moving. And I did it out there in Atlanta, and you feel great afterwards, but at the same time, you're like, man, it just took an hour of my time. So that's all it really takes. It's just 1 hour, and you can get everything in. Like you're gonna feel it throughout your entire body. So that's the model for the workout sessions, the training sessions.
Yeah. And that's 1 hour, like 3 days a week, or what's the preferred amount of days?
Yeah, the preferred amount is 3 days a week. So actually, it's you want to do you want to do actually 3 days, yeah, the resistance training like in person 3 days a week, but you still want to do cardio on your own about 2 days a week. But I know that's difficult for a lot of people. So when we say cardio, you don't necessarily have to, run outside or anything like that. You can still go for a nice walk, brisk walk for like half an hour or something like that. And that's what our parents do. That's what our mom does. She goes for an hour walk every morning, 5 days a week. And that seems to be working for her. Now, of course, I would add some resistance training, and actually, mom wants to work with me, or wants me to work with her. So that's what I would add into it. But yeah, so it's 5 days, it's 3 days resistance, and then 2 days cardio. But you're doing cardio all 5 days, because you want to do about 120 to 150 minutes of cardio, like I was saying earlier, a week. Now you can separate that differently on your own. Like, say for instance, like for me on Mondays, I go running for about hour and 40 minutes. So that's, almost all my cardio that I technically need in a week. Based off statistics. So, and then I do cardio again on Friday, and that's it. I just do cardio 2 days a week, but I meet that quota, and it's consistent, and it works for me. So, it's kind of whatever works for you best, really, outside of the 1 hour training 3 days a week.
You're talking about like going for like a brisk walk. I've always wondered. So, is it better to just have high intensity training, like even if it's shorter amounts of time instead of, long amounts of not doing too much, not challenging activities?
You said, is it better to have higher intensity training than what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, like shorter amounts of time, but higher intensity training as opposed to doing longer amounts of time of low intensity training.
Um, well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, and yeah, it's better for your cardiovascular, it's better for your heart, it's better for your system. It works more towards you. I think you should always have some high intensity training. You don't necessarily have to do it every day you work out, but I feel like if you do cardio, like, so if you're gonna do, like, say, bench press, and you're not going to do interval, you're not going to do super giant sets, or you're not going to do circuit training. If you're just going to sit down and just do bench press, and then lay back down and do more bench press, and then wait, then you want to definitely get some cardiovascular training. But it's kind of going up again. You can do so much more in that time. So when you do bench press, you could do bench press, you can get up, and then you could do straight to some hammer curls. And then what I would do, or what I do, is, do the hammer curls, and then I can do some triceps as well, depending on what you're working on for the day. So you work on more things at once. You hit different secondary muscles, and it keeps your heart rate up. And when you keep your heart rate up, you reach this thing, it's called hypertrophy. So when you reach hypertrophy, that's when you do the high intensity workout. You reach a hypertrophy, and that's when your body reacts differently, to where you get more muscular gains, and you see just more your body reacts better to that, to the high intensity training. So yeah, technically high intensity training is better overall, but I mean, you can do it at different levels. You don't have to do 4 different sets of different things. You can just do one thing and then another thing, and then take a break, and then one thing, then another thing. So, you kind of go at your own pace, but overall, I think it's still better just to add something else in every time you work out.
Now, here's a two-part question. What's some motivation you would give to someone who wants to hit up the gym more? And what's some motivation you would give to someone who wants to eat better and eat healthier?
So you said some motivation for someone who wants to hit the gym more?
Yeah, that'll be the first part if you want to answer that first. And then the second part is for someone who wants to eat better, eat healthier.
So I guess they kind of go hand in hand, to be perfectly honest. So for someone that wants to hit the gym more, and like you're saying, like they want to go to the gym, but they just don't find time, or it's hard for them to get there. Um, you can hire me as a personal trainer. That's kind of that. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to motivate you and help you, get on a strict schedule. So honestly, I would say that, like, if it's hard for them to do to get to the gym, you can either have someone hold you accountable. But the thing about holding someone else accountable, they need to have that type of motivation to get you out. That means they can't say, well, I don't feel like it. Oh, yeah, okay, well, I don't feel like it either. No, you need a motivator, pretty much is what I'm saying. You need a motivator. And if you can't do it yourself, someone else has to motivate you. Um, because obviously if you, I mean, you can set an alarm, you can set a day and time, but if you just don't feel motivated at the time, then you'll never do it. So that's kind of what personal trainers come into the play. So once you get the personal trainer, and technically personal trainers, we never, most personal trainers don't say it, but we don't want you, we don't want to be your personal trainer forever, and then unless you want us to be. But the whole goal is for us to train you, and it can be a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and eventually you just start doing it on your own. And then that we hopefully inspire you and give you that motivation, because you're actually doing it for so long, it's consistent, and you like the results and you like what you see, and then you should just be able to do it on your own after the fact. So that's what I would say about that. And then also, when you start working out, at least for me, I mean, I feel like for me, when I start working out, I get more health conscious because it's hard. Some people do it, but it's hard for me to work out and then go eat some Panda Express or some Chinese food or some McDonald's after working out. It just doesn't, they just don't mix. And it just, in your mind, you're not thinking about eating something super unhealthy. You're thinking about eating something a little bit more health conscious. So I feel like when you start working out, they kind of intertwines. But some people, like I said, will do that. So if you want to eat more healthy, I would say to meal prep. Meal prep, I would say, is the best option for that, because, so like I said, for the 6 meals, um, when you have 6 meals lined out every day and you have everything in line, you have your protein shake, you have your snack, you have your meal, you have this, and you heat it up and you eat it. There's no room for you to eat unhealthy. It doesn't give you a chance. So that's actually the whole formulation of having a meal prep, is to not give you a chance to eat something unhealthy, because you're already full and you're like, dang, I got to eat in another hour. I already have this food set aside for me. I can't waste it. Okay, well, I got to eat it. And it keeps you in check. It keeps you in line. And when you meal prep, it also just makes your life easier, because I meal prep every Sunday. So you meal prep on Sunday and you don't have to worry about cooking the whole rest of the week, which is wonderful. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, two birds, one stone. Um, so that's what I would say about eating healthier. And then also, when you meal prep, or when you go shopping to get food, don't do it on an empty stomach. Do it make sure you eat beforehand, because then you start grabbing stuff that just look really good to you. That's a little side tip.
True, true. So, what are you eating? What's in your meal prep?
So for the meal prep, like I was saying earlier, you want to have you want to make sure you have your proteins, complete protein. Best way to get complete protein is honestly just meat. I don't eat beef or pork, but you can have chicken. That's a complete protein. Turkey. If you don't have that, then you can have beans. I mean, you could, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can still make complete protein, but you're going to have one bean with another bean and mix them together. Like you can't just have one bean, it be a complete protein. It's a little bit more difficult, but you just take a different approach. Yeah, so you have, um, your protein, and then you have your carb, and then you have your fat. Like last week, I had lasagna, but I put a lot of meat in it because, as you know, lasagna it has a lot of carbs. And then you have your fats in there as well, with the sauce and everything. So it's not perfect. I mean, it's hard to make it perfect. You can make it perfect. Usually you end up spending more. But if it's close to the 40, 30, 30, if it's pretty close, then that's what you want to do. Just try to get as close to it as possible.
Cool, cool. Nice. So you're starting a small business and you also have to balance that with raising your child as well. How have you been managing that so far?
Um, it's actually yeah, I'm starting a small business and I just started a new job as well. So I'm working to maintain. Um, so it's challenging. Honestly, it's challenging with 3-year-old. Usually, on the weekends, I want to relax, or maybe try to get some studying in. But then I have Catalea, and I'll have her on weekdays too. But on the weekend, you try to get some more stuff done because I'm usually super busy during the week, and it kind of just it, it doesn't end up happening as you would want it to. So um, I just kind of have to plan it out. Like, say I want to do, like, say 15, 20 minutes a night of like studying for either my next exam or for another license I want to get. And then also, like, I just set aside time and to try to get done what I need to get done. Yeah. And I set goals, short-term goals, what is it called? SMART goals. So achievable goals as well really helps. So you have deadlines, and as long as it's achievable, then that really helps.
Yeah, you want to tell us about SMART goals, what that acronym means?
You know what? I kind of forgot, honestly, what it meant, what it stands for. I have it in here somewhere. Do you
Yeah.
remember what it stands for?
That's a good question. I haven't used it in a while, but let me Google it real quick. How about you tell us about your day as I Google?
My day has been good. Went to work. Got today's my rest day. So um I don't, and I do errands, so I don't go to the gym, so I just did errands after work. And that was about it. You find out what it
Yes,
stands
and that
for?
was, I wanted to hear more about your day, but I guess we must talk
Oh.
about SMART goals, I'm playing. So, yeah, specific, measurable, assignable, relevant, and time based. Which one
Yeah.
of those challenge you the most out of those five different, uh, I guess,
Time base,
else?
probably.
Time base? Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah. Because I'm a natural procrastinator, so just having things done within a certain time frame is difficult for me. But like I said, you got to kind of just plan accordingly and set your dates and times, and set backup times as well, even if you miss that first time. So um, time based, yeah, it's always been challenging for me. But that's why you want to have achievable, measurable, as it says in the SMART goal, measurable goals, So that way you're not just saying, I want to build $1 million company in 1 year. Like, is that measurable? Is that achievable? No, not really. I mean, not really. No, it isn't. For most people, it isn't. So that's that's what helps me kind of my remedy, I guess, for time based.
Yeah. And for your job situation right now, are you working full time while doing personal training as your side gig? And do you have a financial goal you're saving up towards, or do you just use both of those as a way to save up finances?
Yeah, I'm actually full time right now, and so actually, how I plan to start is I think is I thought it was clever. Start outside, especially with COVID. So I want to start outside near the beach and with mats and resistance bands and maybe some balls and just, I mean, you could do so much with resistance bands and mats. I can easily, you know, get the biggest guy out there to break a nice sweat after getting through with some resistance band workouts. So that being said, that's how I plan on starting. So it will be relatively inexpensive because I can't, rent out a gym or, I mean, I guess you can, but I'm not going to pour all this money into something that may not take off. So I want to start, baby steps, and I want to start in a way where I'm just going to get it's going to be very profitable to me. So if I start outside, I'm not renting anything out. I'm doing it outside. I have my business license and all that liability license and reforms and all that stuff. Um, so pretty much I'll be taking in most of the profit, and it helped me inch my way into getting to renting out a gym. And then from renting out a gym, eventually I would like to own my own gym, but it's got to start somewhere. So that's kind of how, and I like, and it's a measurable, achievable goal in a timely manner because I can do that, like almost right now. I just need to get equipment and, like a couple of things in line, like some ads and stuff like that. And I need to get like a landing page and like my logo. I have my name, short bio. So there's just a lot of things I have to come in line for that to happen. But hopefully by January, I should hopefully have all that done, taken care of.
Cool. And lastly, social media. I know you've gone out your ways to try to stay off of it for a while, but it really helps when you're doing personal training and trying to market it more. How do you plan on stepping into that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure you've seen the guy saying, "Hey guys, let me tell you how to get this type of muscle and make you feel this type of way." Yeah, I'm sure you guys all seen that. And just takes 5 steps and blah blah blah. So that's a big part of getting the word out. And and he always looks that you see people like that looking energized, looks like they know what they're talking about, not stuttering, they're straight to the point. It kind of reels you in. It reels me in. And then I find out they're trying to sell supplement. I'm like, oh, never mind. Because I thought they're actually going to get to a workout like that's like beneficial for you, but they're just trying to sell a supplement. I'm like, oh, never mind. But that's not, what I would be doing. I'd be trying to do personal training. So it would be different. But either way, nonetheless, they think that supplement works. I think my personal training would work for you. So, or I can help it work for anyone. So, yeah, so social media is a big factor nowadays. It's actually like the factor. Because word of mouth, unless you know a lot of people, like a lot of people, then it's, it can take forever for you to build up your business. So yeah, social media, I would, I'm on, I have to make a new, so I have my Instagram, and then I got my Snapchat, and then I have my Facebook, but I'm going to be making separate accounts for Facebook, separate account for Facebook specifically for the personal training industry. So yeah, without that, and honestly, you're not going to be getting anywhere fast.
Yeah. Well, if you need any help with that, I'm no expert, but hooking up your Instagram to your Facebook. So then you only have to post to Instagram. So it posts on Facebook and, try and get all those likes. It's, yeah, it's quite a journey, but at the same time, try not to get wrapped up in it because you don't want to make it your identity. And, it's just celebrate the victories, but at the same time, see like what's working and what's not working, while all the
Yeah.
while trying not to get wrapped up in, making it who you are because it's just something you do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want to be overtaken by social media. And I've had my fair share of getting drawn into it. That's why most of the time on social media, I'll just go on there at night, like one time in the day. I'm might be guilty of doing it a couple times throughout the day, but usually I won't do it for a long period of time. I don't, I know some people can do it for like an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh. There was someone actually at Body Design University said, yeah, every morning I wake up and then I'm on social media for an hour and then I have my breakfast. I'm like, whoa, whoa. So yeah, you don't want to, there's got to be a balance for everything. So that's you don't want to put time and effort into something, and you do set aside time, like say for phone calls, for advertisement. Literally half of your time or half of my time would be going into advertisements, calls, and all that stuff, and promoting the company. And the other half is into like actually doing the personal training. But like I said, it has to be balanced, kind of like what you're saying. You got to have a nice balanced approach to it all.
All right. And speaking on social media, any way that we can follow you at the moment?
Yeah, so on Instagram it's shabambam94.
Can you spell that?
S
Oh,
Yeah,
you're about to. Yeah.
S oh no problem. SHABAM 94. And you'll see some of my posts from Body Design University. I need to put some more posts up there. I do have plenty of pictures. So now that I'm thinking about it, I might just do it right now. We'll see. Um, but um, but yeah, so Shabam Bam 94, that would probably be the best option right now to follow me. And then my company is called Lifestyle Training, because it is a lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's not, a P90X, which does work for a lot of people, but you got to do it all the time, right? So it's, like you can't just do it for 3 months and say, okay, back to normal. No, it's a lifestyle. So you have to change, in a lifestyle way.
Awesome. And you're based out in San Diego County. So if
San
anyone,
Diego County. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be near the coast. I'm in Vista right now, but pretty much, yeah, throughout North County, San Diego County. But of course, if you want to come from South County too, that's fine with me. I've worked throughout all of San Diego, so I'm very familiar with all the areas. So yeah, just give me a shout out and we'll try to link up or something, try to make something happen.
Cool, man. Anything else you want to say to the audience? I see you got a little notebook there. Anything you feel like you weren't able to talk about?
Um, well, yeah, so I guess for those that, in California, there's a lot going on, a lot of people, going through a lot of hardships, businesses, their jobs. And I would just like to reach out to them and just say, um, at the end of the day, God's still in control. And I feel like if you don't have anyone to reach out to, or if you do have people to reach out to, I would suggest or recommend reaching out to God, because he'll always be there by your side to help you out through thick and thin. He's been there for me. So I'm speaking from experience. So I'm not just, throwing this out there. This is, it's been, that's happened in my life, and I would like that, to help other people in their life. And then also just, on top of that, if, if you're in a place like, where like I said earlier, like where you can't get yourself, or like what we talked about earlier, you can't get yourself to a gym, you don't, you feel like in a sluggish spot of your part of your life, you can always reach out to me, and I can always try to help you, lift you up in those areas and try to get you motivated. And because a lot of times that can change. It changed my life, so it can definitely change other people's lives just by being a little bit more active. And you can do that just by going outside. So it's, yeah. So that's what I like to leave with.
Awesome, man. Well, always want to encourage you before you go that you're a good man. And as you stir up within yourself what you're called to do, the lives of others, they're going to be impacted for the better. And as you seek God first, He's always going to take you where you need to go, and He's going to take care of all your needs. So, yeah, just keep going. You're going to help some people.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I really, really do. And by the way, guys, this is my actual brother. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just in case y'all didn't know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, and thank you for all that you do. And I know you're reaching out to a lot of people, and I appreciate your hard work, and definitely keep it up.
Yeah. It's all good, dude. Well, once again, thanks for coming on today, and, have a good night.
Thank you. You too, and good night to everyone else, or good day,
Yeah.
whenever
One
you
or
listen
other.
to this.
True, true. Awesome. Yeah, for everyone else, until next time, as we're maturing, we're going to keep learning, stirring up, and chasing after what our Creator created us to do. So have a good one, everyone. Peace.